1 2 1 2. It's your girl Regine. What it do? What it do? You are now listening to The Bold, The Brown, and The Opinionated Podcast. What's up, y'all? What we talking about today? Let's get into it.
Welcome back, my BBO gang. What's up? Y'all already know it's your girl Regine. And y'all, this episode, honestly, you don't want to miss it. Make sure you listen from start all the way to finish. Okay? This episode is about credit, y'all. How important is credit? Hella important. And I want to make sure all my listeners have all the necessary information they need to succeed in life, starting with credit, starting with goals, like I did in the beginning of the year. So let's get into it, y'all. I want to start off by saying I currently have a 751 credit score. And then I'm going to tell y'all what I did to get there. I don't feel like I did much, but you know, I might have did a little something. So first of all, let me start on. I use Credit Karma, so I know I do get my free credit report too through my or I do get a free credit report through my credit cards and stuff. But I don't ever use that. Like I'll get it if they send it to me, but I never like request it for some reason. So currently I have a 750 credit score. I'm gonna start off by showing y'all. So if we start with trend, we all should know, first of all, we all should know that there's 3 different credit bureaus. There's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. We should know that off jump. So with my Credit Karma, they only give me TransUnion, and Equifax. But if you wanted your Experian credit report, you can always contact like all 3 of the credit bureaus and you could get a free credit report every year. Like once a year, they'll send it to you for free. Or you can go through Credit Karma like I do. And this is not sponsored, by the way. Credit Karma, no, I'm going to have to write this check eventually. But no, all right, starting with on my credit. So if we go back to the very beginning, I remember the first time I checked my credit score. I didn't even really check it. Like somebody checked it for me. But I was trying to get a car just like most of us. No, I'm lying. So the first time I checked my credit score was when I was trying to get a car. But I had a credit card before that. So I got my first credit card when I was 18. And I didn't even know for real I was getting, like, I was applying for a credit card. I was like, I wasn't tricked into it. Basically, they told me it was financing. So I had a little hoopty. My first car was a little 1999 Nissan Altima. And I went to Midas to get my inspection. Like, I know hoopties don't never pass inspection. Never. I need all this shit. And I'm like, okay, well, who's paying for that, basically? And then I was at Midas, and they was like, well, you can try to open up one of our credit cards. And I was just like, all right. So I put some information in, and boom, they approved me. So I'm like, okay, well, how much do y'all need? It was like, oh, no, you don't need nothing. We put it all on the credit card. So I'm like, okay, shit, I got me a little credit card or whatever. So when I was 18. That's when I got my first credit card. And they only gave me like a limit of like $500, but it's a Care One card. So I can use it at like Midas, Firestone, all Exxon gas stations. They're owned by Synchrony Bank. So Synchrony Bank, they own like if you have a Gap credit card, they own that. They own like Banana Republic, a whole bunch of like other things that you can get. But I have the Care One credit card, and so it's basically all for your car. So every time I get like new tires, if I need all 4 tires, I'll just like, let me just use this credit card. If I need to I get my inspections done at Kia, but if I need to go like to Midas or somebody, or just like another car place, and I can use my credit card there, and then I can get gas there too. So I didn't know how much my interest rate was. I didn't know how much. Nothing. Like literally all they told me was how to pay on it. So I just was like, all right, I'm gonna just, start paying on it or whatever. So I was just paying on it. Then I was like, all right, I want a new car. Eventually I want a new car. So I remember I went to a Honda dealership in Murrayville. And I was like, I'm trying to get a car. Like, sis need a car. I was sick of driving my hoopty. So I was like, okay, well, what's your credit score? So I got the little Credit Karma app. I opened it up. Long and behold, y'all, I had a 613 credit score, which that's average. Honestly, that's like basically I didn't have any credit besides that one little baby credit card that I had. And I had just opened it, so it really didn't show any, credit history. I didn't have no payments made or nothing. So it was just like basically I still had no credit. So Honda, girl, they turned my ass right back around. It was like, come back when you get a little bit more credit. Like, he didn't even run my credit or nothing. I told him what it was, and he was just like, sis, it's a no. So anyway, so my credit score basically started out at like a 613. And then from there, I made sure I got that credit card still till this day. I still have it. So that was 18. I'm 25 now. So that was 7 years ago. So that's the longest thing that's been on my credit report is that Midas credit card. And then so after my Midas credit card, and again, I set up myself with automatic payments. I don't know if my mom recommended that or I just did it, but I was like, let me just get automatic payments. And they automatically take out like the bare minimum. So my bare minimum, of course, is $25 or depending on how much you spend. So they take out that, because I was young and I don't want to forget. I don't want to miss a payment. So I took that out. Automatically comes out. And it still till this day automatically comes out. Right now, my credit limit on that card is probably like $2,500 on that card. I mean, I barely use it. I was using it for gas a lot, but I stopped because the interest rate is high as hell on that credit card for no damn reason. All right. So after that, then my student loans, y'all, my student loans kicked in. But I don't pay shit on that. I pay the bare minimum on that because next year I'm just going to like try to pay them off in all lump sums. So right now my credit, I'm in the Department of Education. I have $31,087 and it goes up, y'all, $43 a month. And that's just interest. It goes up. And then I got a PNC credit card. Also, my limit on my PNC credit card is $5,000. But honey child, I wouldn't dare. Don't spend, y'all. Don't let these banks trick y'all into thinking that, okay, we're going to give y'all this I'm going to give you this high-ass credit limit and then come down to and you can't even afford it. No, don't do that. So, yes, my limit on my PNC credit card is $5,000, but you don't want to spend more than 30%. 30. Honestly. And if you feel like you're really struggling, and even 30% is a lot for you, only spend 10%. If you got a $500 balance, only spend $50. So you'll be able to turn around and pay it right back off. If you have $100, if you have a $1,000 limit, try to only spend $100 or $200. Because once you start getting up to $300, $400, $500, it's hard to come back down from that. You don't want to catch yourself spending, trying to pay it off, $25 a month. And that's not going towards nothing. That's going towards interest. Okay, that's another thing you want to pay attention to. You want to always pay more than the minimum payment. If you can pay it off, pay it off. So all right, so I had $5,000 limit. Say I spend $500 and my credit card payment is due on the 25th. What I'll do is, and if I want to pay it all off, which I try to do, I'll take and pay like $250 a week before my due date. And then I'll pay another $250 a couple days before my due date. So that way it looks like I paid in full like twice. Does that make sense? Like it looks like, I made 2 payments on time, which of course I did, but then the balance also was paid off as well. So let me repeat that. Only spend 30% or less. 30% or less. And then always, if you can pay it off in full, always pay it off in full. If not, make sure you pay off the balance. Or always pay off, more than the minimum payment, because you don't want to get caught up in all that interest and then you're just struggling. It don't make no sense. And then what else? Okay, so I got my car. My car is on of course, my credit report because I'm making payments on it. I don't play around with my car payment. I don't play around with my credit, period. Once you fuck up, miss a payment, don't pay on something, get a bad report, it's hard to come back from. It's so easy to mess your credit up, but it's so hard to bring it back up. So when it comes to anything that's on my credit cards, my student loans, my car, I pay that shit, y'all. Pay that shit. And if you can't afford it, don't spend it. And I understand things happen and people fall short, bills due. All you guys that credit card, I get it. I promise I get it. But just don't look at a credit card as something that's like money you have, because technically it's not even your money. It's the bank's money. So I only spend my credit card on large purchase items. Like I just bought a washer and dryer. I spent my credit card, but then I had the money to buy it, but I still use my credit card, and then I just boom paid it off. So don't, and especially don't, like I know people who go to like gas stations and will use their credit card for some chips and some gum. Like don't do that. Why are you gonna charge your credit card for $1.50 and then you got interest on that? It's not a lot, but still, don't do that. Don't just use your credit cards for no reason. So that's all I got. I got my Midas credit card, my car note, my student loans, and my car on my Experian. And then it says I have one hard inquiry, which was for my apartment. They gave me a hard inquiry, which that's another thing. You don't really want people to be touching your credit either. Like if you know you're shopping around for a car, like you don't want to go to 10 different dealerships and have 10 different people pull your credit. You know what I mean? Because that makes your credit score go down too. And then so my age of my longest credit report is, my longest thing on my credit report is 6 years and 9 months. And that's Experian, that's all TransUnion stuff. I have 0 derogatory remarks. Told you I don't fuck around. And then my credit card utilization. Now this is between both my Midas credit card and my PNC credit cards is at 35% right now. Payment history, 100%. On-time payments, I pay 145 on-time total payments. So that's currently how I have a 750 credit score. Now that does fluctuate. Like one time my credit score dropped like 20 points. And it didn't even tell me why. It just said 4 open accounts. It didn't really tell me why. It told me like, oh, the one time it told me that my credit card balance was getting high. And then my student loans was increasing by $43 and it dropped at 20 points. So that's what I'm telling you. Like it's so easy to mess up and you didn't even do nothing, but it does fluctuate. So don't let that, don't let that get you down or nothing. Like I don't want to tell y'all the same stuff that y'all hear all the time. Oh yeah, that's another question that somebody asked me too. How do you dispute things that's on your credit? So me personally, I never had to dispute nothing that was on my credit. But if you go to the Credit Karma app and you see something on there that's not supposed to be on there, sis, there is a button, click, that says dispute. So dispute that. Call that company. If you know the company, if it say Discover, somebody did a hard inquiry, call that company, let them know what's going on. I need to dispute this. I never tried to open up a credit card or whatever. And there's also letters, y'all. Y'all can literally Google credit dispute letters that you can send out to companies. Like if you owe Comcast or something, you can send a letter out to Comcast letting them know. Matter of fact, you can call them. I recommend calling because I like to get straight to the point. Call if you owe Comcast, Sprint, any company that has like a number, which most companies do, any organization. Call them, and usually they will try to work something out. Like say you owe Comcast $500 and you got their equipment and it happened 3 years ago. Why are you letting that sit on your credit? Don't. And I don't care if Comcast only took your credit down 30% or Sprint only took your credit score down 100 points. That's a lot. Every point counts. So call Comcast, and more than likely, if it's old as hell, all they'll say is come turn my equipment in, come turn the equipment in, drop it off at the store, and they'll close, they'll close out the account, which will make your credit score go up because you're no longer in the negative with that account. Or like say you owe Verizon Verizon or Sprint, like some high ass old bill that you never paid, you never gave the phone away. Call them and see if you can negotiate. Like, Sprint, this account was old as hell. I still have the phone. I'm not able to pay off the whole balance. Say the bill was $1,200. I don't have $1,200, but there's any way you can negotiate, and they will do that. They don't want all that money out there either. They want to close that and keep it done with. So they want to negotiate. Like, all right, if you give us the phone, maybe pay half, pay $600 of it. We'll send you a bill, just pay $600. Boom, pay that $600 or whatever the case may be. Pay it and leave it alone. I recommend paying stuff off like in lump sums, because even that $600, they negotiate that $600 for you, and you're paying $25 a month. You know how long that's going to take you to pay it off, and how long that's going to affect your credit score. If you got it, just pay it off. I say just pay it off and call them. Don't be afraid to get on the phone with these companies. Don't let them intimidate you, period, because they will try to do that. No, my name is Regine. I owe y'all from 5 years ago this Sprint bill, and I need to take it off my credit. What can I do? What can we negotiate? And they usually have a collections department who can handle all that for you. And don't be embarrassed either. Do not be embarrassed from because you have bad credit or because you owe people. You were in this situation then. That's not your situation now, and that's not going to be your situation forever. So don't be embarrassed. Don't let nobody, no company or nothing put you down for that. Go call them and negotiate. And it don't got to be even Capital One, Discover, all them credit cards. They will put you in collections and they'll set you up with the payment plan so that shit can get off your credit. Y'all don't let that stuff sit on your credit. I know it seems like it's only a little bit. I know people who got like repos on their credit. If you have a repo on your credit score, y'all, that's really like the biggest. That's really like I think the biggest reason why so many people have bad credit. Cause y'all know we got cars young. I got a car young too. And you know, people lose their jobs. There's other responsibilities. People got kids. It's like, all right, am I gonna feed my kid this month or am I gonna have this car this month? So, you know, people make decisions. And if you do have a repo on your credit, I would say that's probably like the hardest thing to basically to get that's the hardest thing to get off your credit for real because unless you legitimately did not own the car or something like that, if you just simply have a repo on your credit because you couldn't afford it, only thing I could recommend is that you just gonna have to. I hate to say this, and I know y'all don't want to hear this, but you're just gonna have to pay it off. You're just gonna have to pay it off eventually because the longer you let it sit there, the longer it's going to affect you. Now, I'm not saying that if you have a repo on your credit that you can't get a credit card, you can't get another car, you can't, you know, do this or that. It's just going to be harder. Let me give you an example. Now, I don't know if it's like this for all cars, but I think for like Kia, Hyundai, like I don't know, you got a Benz or something. I don't know what the rules is because y'all cars is high as hell. But if you have like a you know a nicer like smaller car like that's not super expensive. So say I owe $6,000 on my car. Say I get it repo, right? I get it repo tomorrow. They come take my shit. They're going to sell it. They're going to sell that Kia at an auction. So I owe 6,000. They're going to say they sell it for, like 3,000. So if they sell it for 3,000. That means I'm only responsible for the remaining $3,000 on that car, and that is the amount that should hit your. That's the amount that should hit your credit. If you got a repo and you still owe 20,000 on the car and they only sold it for 10, then you're still responsible for that 10,000 because basically that's a loss from that company, from that bank that lended you that money. Now, if y'all really want to go deep into like loans and home equity loans, lines of credits, car notes, contracts, I can do that too. That could be a separate episode because I did work in loans at PNC. But that's all you should be responsible to pay. Now, that doesn't come on your credit right away. So once you get repo, I think it's like 30 days they'll go on there. And then once they sell it, you should see that amount go down. If it don't go down, either they didn't sell it or you can call them. And like I said, even if, say you got your car and like my car is financed through Kia Motor Finance or whatever it's called. So if I get my car repo and I call them and they'll tell you like, all right, Regine, if you just give us $900 right now, we'll give you your car back, you know, stuff like that. But if you just genuinely cannot afford it and you want to just take it as a loss and a month has passed and you still see that large amount on your credit score, call them. Call them like, you know, I have some questions regarding something I see on my credit. I'm just want to make sure, was this vehicle sold or not? And they should be able to give you that information. And that's another thing. Banks don't want to take back what they give you. Like repo people, when I worked at PNC, we don't want to go come back and repo your car. We don't want to come put a lien on your house. We don't want to do nothing. We want to help y'all out. So if you are behind on your credit card bill, your car note, your mortgage, call y'all. Do not run away from the collectors. Call them and let them know they can give you a payment plan. They can defer you. They can give you an extension. Well, deferment, you know, that's what student loans, but they can give you an extension. And I got an extension before too on my car note. I forget when I got an extension. I was in college and I probably just ain't feel like paying. I don't know what was going on that particular time in my life, but I was like, yeah, I need an extension on my for this month for my car note, and they gave me a month extension, and we used to do them all the time too at PNC. So call and get an extension if you know money is tight and you're not going to be able to afford it. It's better to get an extension than it is to just not pay them, you know? And also with an extension, real quick, is that once you get an extension, the interest kind of is different for a little bit, because the amount that should have went towards principal and the payment that you didn't make did not go towards it, and they didn't get interest on that either. So instead of having 30 days of interest, you're now having 60 days. So that payment that you make that following month, less is going towards principal. I hope that makes sense. If you need more information, DM me, y'all, because I can let y'all know. So that's as far as like, don't run from these people. If they're calling you, your credit card company is calling you, Discover, PNC, Capital One, if they're calling you, answer the phone. Even if you don't got it, tell them, I can give you half on Friday. Give them a date, because what will also happen is that, you tell them I can give you half of it on the 10th. They'll put that in their system and they won't call you until the 10th. Or they'll tell you, Regine, the 10th, that's too late. Are you able to give us something? Just give us something on the 5th. And, they'll work with you. The worst thing you can do is avoid them, because they're thinking you're dodging their calls. They can't get in touch with you. Now you got people driving past your house, and y'all want that. Just answer the phone, talk to them, let them know what the situation that's going. There's hardship extensions too. Like, if you're like, I remember one time when I was at PNC, it was a little car note, and this man, he straight up told me, he was like, listen, I don't got it right now. I lost my job. My grandma's sick, and it was just, all this stuff. And we gave him a 3-month extension. Them people, remember that floods that happened in Houston? FEMA was giving people on their mortgages and their home equity loans and their lines of credits, people was giving them 3 to 4 month extensions. So don't be embarrassed by that. If you don't have it, call them and let them know. And I'm pretty sure that they will work with you. Don't go into, in a negative balance or not pay simply because you're going through stuff. Y'all feel me? I feel like I've been talking a lot. Y'all following me, what I'm saying? I asked y'all too. I'm about to answer some questions, because I asked y'all on my Instagram. Y'all better be following me too. Bold, Brown, and Opinionated on Instagram. Make sure you're following me. I asked y'all what questions y'all had. All right, so one of my followers said, why is credit so damn important? It's annoying as fuck. I agree. Real shit, I agree. I think a credit is annoying, but it's almost like, okay, so how you have like a verbal agreement with somebody? You can't just live off verbal agreements nowadays. Like, people want to see that, you know how to pay bills. People want to see that, you got a steady flow of income. People want to see if they can trust you or not. Yes, it's annoying as fuck. Why is it important? Well, I just told you it's important because they want to see if you're paying your bills. Basically, they want to know if they could trust you with more money, or they want to know if they could trust you with this car. Basically, that's why it's so important. How do you dispute things? I talked about that earlier. You just, if you got the Credit Karma app, you can dispute things with that button, or you can call the company app itself. If you don't know, say it's like sometimes on your credit, it'll be like weird names. If you don't know the name, Google it. Because say you owe, I don't know, say you owe Best Buy, whatever. Say you had a credit card with Best Buy, you owe Best Buy. You can, sometimes it will come on your bank statements all weird. You can Google that name or that title, whatever their bank is, and Google it and see what it is. How to get these off your credit. I'm not sure by that question, how to get these off your credit. What exactly do you mean? Like, what do you want to get off? Something that's not supposed to be on there, call the company directly. Or you can even contact the credit bureaus too and let them know. But I'm not sure about that question, sorry. What if you can't, another question is, what if you can't get a car, can't get a credit card, and can't get a house? How do you go about getting credit? Okay, so if you can't, you feel like everyone is turning you down for a credit card, everyone's turning you down for a car, and your credit just is either bad or you don't have no credit, I recommend getting a secured credit card. Honestly, that's what I recommend. So a secured credit card, for those who don't know what that is, that's basically like a credit card that you're putting money on. Basically is what it is. So you can go down to Discover, whomever, and tell them you want a secure credit card, and how much ever money you have to put on there. Say you have $100 to put on there, that's how much you have to spend. And you spend your 100, or remember I told you spend 30%. So if you only have $100 to put on there, you should only be spending 30. Boom, pay that off. Spend another 30. Boom, pay that off. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do. I would go and look into getting a secured credit card because those are easier to get because it's not the bank's money, it's your money. Another question is, what are the steps to take to get good credit? Now, they do say bad credit is no credit, but if you're starting off, like someone just starting off at 18 and you want to get good credit, just pay your bills. Just pay them, make sure you pay them on time. That's what I feel like I did. That's why I feel like my credit is so good because like I just paid on everything. But if you're someone who already has bad credit and they want to get good credit, you just have to start paying off the things that's on your credit. That's on your credit report that are bad, that are affecting you. No more hard inquiries like I talked about. Don't let people just pull your credit. Start paying off. If you do have credit cards open, pay them off. That's how you can like get and maintain good credit. Is it hard to maintain good credit? I don't think it's hard to maintain good credit. Honestly, once you find once you're in a budget and once you're, you know, once you really kind of get what's going on and how to finesse it, as far as making a double payments or making a couple payments a month, then it's like for me, it was easy to maintain my good credit. But like I said, it wasn't always good. Did you always have outstanding credit? No, I didn't always have outstanding credit. I started off with no credit. It was like a 613. When did you know it was time to fix your credit? I would say any time is good to fix your credit. If your credit is bad, start now. Like I said, even if you want to start with the small stuff, start with the small stuff. If you feel like, okay, the small stuff don't really affect my credit score that much, don't start with the small stuff. Start with the big ass stuff. Or start with the stuff that's less important. The things that you can do first. That's what I would say. When did you know it was time to fix your credit? And I would say, as far as fixing your credit, I would say start a savings account first. You know what I mean? Because you want to start that up. Start your savings account, and then as your savings account start getting bigger, that's when you start paying this off. As far as time, it all depends. If you feel like I'm not going to work on it until I want to get a mortgage. If that's what you want to do, you want to wait until you're in a situation where you're getting a mortgage to start paying off, then that's what you got to do. But I recommend doing it now. Ain't no time like the present time. Oh, somebody else said, what was your lowest credit score? I answered that. I said it was a 613. Somebody said, how do I make it better? Which I said that already in this episode. You guys to start paying it off, paying attention, and being the best you. Well, not the best you. I want everybody to be the best you, but you just got to start paying it off, paying stuff off. Let me see. Do I have any other questions for y'all? That's it. That's really. I hope this episode was informative for y'all. I hope if y'all have any other questions about credit, like I'm not a credit guru. I just know what I did from that, and I know basic information because I used to like work at a bank and stuff. But all this information is Googleable. That's not even a word. All this information you can Google and see what you can do to make your credit better. If you're looking for a credit card, there's websites. I'll help you figure out what's the best credit card for you, what your odds of getting approved are. But basically, don't live above your means. Don't live above your means. If you have an outstanding balance on your credit, like they give you a highest credit card balance, don't feel inclined to get that high balance every time. Like PNC will randomly call me, asking me if I want to raise my credit card limit. Like, no, bro. Like sometimes I will just to do it, but other times I'm like, nah, I'm smart with my money. But somebody else who's not, they will get caught up in that, and then now you taking trips to Miami with the bank's money, which I'm not against. Okay, everybody need a little getaway, but just make sure you can afford it. I guess is the number one thing. What else? I don't know what else I got for y'all. Make sure again you're following us on Instagram and Facebook at Bold, Brown, and Opinionated, y'all. Make sure you're following us and make sure you're listening to these episodes on Bold, Brown, and Opinionated.com. I have a link that says listen here where I have all the episodes, or you can also go to the link that says blog, catch up on the blog, some of the blogs I wrote, and I also include all of the episodes in that link as well. And make sure you're following my personal pages at XO Regine XO. So that's XOREGINEXO. That's on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. Y'all, we got great things popping. I know I see y'all And I know y'all want video podcast episodes coming, so they are coming. They're on the way. I promise. I'm hoping they start having them up by the end of the summer. I got my studio room. I just gotta get it dressed, meaning I have to put furniture in it and do stuff to it. So once that gets done, I promise y'all will see me more. And don't forget, the Bold Brown and Opinionated podcast is available on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and I promise, I know I've been saying this since I started, we are coming to iTunes, y'all. They are giving me the biggest run around in the world, and it's not just me; it's other podcasts too that's just not been able to tap in. We're coming. We're also on Google Podcasts too. And I don't know, y'all. This is all about credit. I hope this was informative for y'all. I do want to leave y'all off with one message that I'm also dealing with myself. I like to leave y'all with a little something to take on for the next 15 days until y'all hear me again. Do not allow things that you cannot control make you upset or frustrated. All right, my BBO gang. That's all I got for y'all this time. And I will see y'all back July 15th. And until next time, y'all, deuces.
Lastly, I want to encourage my listeners to be all that you were meant to be with your boldness, to love the skin that you're in with your brown, glowing melanin. And remember, just because you're opinionated does not mean you're angry, so never be afraid to have an opinion. And before I go, please follow The Bold, The Brown, and The Opinionated Podcast on Facebook and Instagram for all your podcast updates. And until next time, my BBO gang, deuces.